High street ahead, got me head in the game. With the red light on, I'm just waiting for the change. Keep my head down low.
Hi, I'm Jay Fallon, and you're listening to the Slippery Slope podcast. So today I want to talk about something simple, but I think absolutely foundational in your life, in your faith, your marriage, my life, my faith, my marriage, even the direction of our nation. On the weekend, I heard Patrick Russell, Pastor Patrick Russell, who I've had on this show before. He said something. He asked a question. He said, "Who do you surround yourself with?" And it got me thinking, who do I surround myself with? Because the people around you, the voices you let in, the examples you follow, they shape your character, they shape your decisions, they shape your future. And the same is true for nations. The voices we elevate, the leaders we trust, the experts we platform, they shape the destiny of a country. So I think about 2 years ago, I released an episode. It was called Love is a Choice. In it, I talked about my cousin and her husband. They're two people who had a massive influence on my marriage, especially in the early years. I didn't learn about love from Hollywood. If I did, it was all wrong, I suppose. I didn't learn from Hollywood. I didn't learn from social media. Back then, there wasn't any social media, really, not like now. I learned I learned it from watching people who I lived with, from my parents and from my cousin and her husband who I lived with at the time, watching all these other family members who were married and who were living their lives. So their marriage wasn't loud or flashy. It wasn't performative. It was steady, faithful, sacrificial. Same with my parents, steady, faithful. And without even trying, they discipled me. They showed me that love is a choice you make every day, a commitment you honor even when it's hard, a reflection of Christ's love for us. And that example shaped the direction of my life for good. It taught me something Scripture has been saying for thousands of years. And that's not to say that I didn't, you know, make some big mistakes along the way and almost screwed up everything. But those examples really did shape the direction of my life. So, as I said, this all taught me something that Scripture has said for thousands of years. Proverbs 13, verse 20 says, "He who walks with the wise grows wise, but a companion of fools suffers harm." That's Proverbs 13, verse 20. So who you surround yourself with matters. That's what I was thinking after hearing Pastor Patrick Russell say that on the weekend. Who do you surround yourself with? Who have I surrounded myself with? And who you do surround yourself with absolutely matters. Now, here's the twist. Most people today aren't being shaped by family or mentors or godly examples. They're being shaped by algorithms, influencers, news feeds, activists, celebrities, echo chambers. Your circle is now digital. And the question becomes, who is discipling you, the Bible or the culture? Because one leads to wisdom and the other leads to confusion. So I was thinking from a national point of view and asking, who does Australia surround itself with at the moment? If the people around me shaped my marriage, then who is shaping our nation? Who are we as a nation walking with? Who are the voices whispering in the ears of our leaders, our leadership? Because a nation is influenced the same way a person is influenced. A country is shaped by the leaders we elect, the bureaucrats it empowers, the experts that we listen to, the global institutions that it aligns with. and the cultural voices it platforms. And right now, Australia is surrounding itself with voices that do not value truth, unity, or biblical morality. We're listening to globalist institutions, ideological activists, corporate media, cultural elites, and bureaucracies captured by identity politics. And then we wonder why we're divided, why we're confused, why we're drifting. Scripture warns us bad company corrupts good character. It says that in 1 Corinthians 15:33. If that's true for an individual, then how much more for nations? Bad company corrupts good character. You look at Israel in the Old Testament. Every time they surrounded themselves with corrupt kings, false prophets, foreign gods, ungodly nations, all the things that God said, hey, don't do. They surrounded themselves with these things. They fell into chaos. Not because God abandoned them, but because they chose the wrong influences. And I believe Australia is doing the same thing. We're surrounding ourselves with voices that reject truth, reject unity, and reject God. And the fruit of that influence is everywhere. You've got policy failures, social fragmentation, erosion of truth, censorship, confusion about morality, division replacing unity. Influence determines direction. So you've got to ask yourself a leadership question. Who is our leadership? Who is really our leadership? Or who is whispering in the ears of our leadership? Most Australians never even think about this. And I've spoken quite a lot over the years about leadership and about what I see as people who manage, who are put in positions of leadership, but they're actually just managers and they're not leaders. They manage a situation. They manage people. They don't lead. They don't lead people. Most Australians never think about this, but leaders are shaped by advisors, think tanks, lobbyists, academics, activists, and international bodies. And if the advisors are compromised, the nation becomes compromised. If the voices are ideological, the policies become ideological. If the influences are globalist, then the decisions become globalist. And if the people surrounding our leaders reject biblical truth, then the nation will drift away from truth. It's inevitable. But so here's the good news. Just like I chose to follow the example of my cousin and her husband, and that episode that I did talking about love is a choice, realizing that love is a choice, and that choice is something that permeates throughout our whole life. So just like I chose to follow that example, a nation can choose better influences too. We can choose leaders who value truth, policies grounded in reality, voices that promote unity, rather than at the moment they all promote division. They all want to divide everyone up. White Australia, black Australia, all this rubbish. So we need voices that promote unity, a national identity built on shared values. We're not all going to agree. We're not all going to have the same values, but we need a national identity that's built on shared values, because there should be things that we share in our values. And we need a culture that honors God rather than rejecting God. And individually, you can choose wise voices, biblical truth, people who sharpen you, and examples worth following. Because your circle shapes your future, and our national circle shapes our destiny. Who you surround yourself with determines the direction of your life and the direction of a nation. So choose wisely. As always, this is just my opinion. I'm Jay Fallon, and thanks for listening to the Slippery Slope podcast.
Fuel the desire that will take me higher. I'm on fire because nothing's gonna bring me down. Nothing's gonna bring me down. Nothing's gonna stop me now. No more deals to be done. No more selling out my soul just to focus on the goal. Nothing's gonna stop me now. Nothing's gonna hold me down. Got my eye on the prize. Got my eye